Good afternoon, and welcome to an afternoon session, especially for you. I'm Linda, and we're going to look at self-sabotage. This is actually part 2 of what I did this morning for you on my main page, which was all the ingredients that add up to us self-sabotaging. Okay, now I will put this list down below in the comments so that you can check back on it, or you can press pause, or you can print it out, or whatever you need to do. So, I'm just back home from Deadpool 2. Have you seen it yet? It's only just been released in Australia, so my boys actually took me to see it this evening, and it's hilarious. Laughed and laughed and laughed. And if you saw Deadpool 1, you'll love it even more. They really did a great job. Okay, self-sabotage. Have you been in that mindset, or, is your life being framed by self-sabotage? So self-sabotage is where I overdo something and then I'm hurt physically, emotionally, relationally, or at work. And if we go back to the first video today, we explain how that comes about in our day-to-day life. So what are we going to do to move beyond self-sabotage? Okay, first of all, it really is key that you feel convicted or committed or compelled to live out your vision and dream, because I can assure you it does take time. It is something that unfolds over time, and our personal growth is actually part of our vision and dream. So we don't just go, oh, listen, I'm just going to be a doctor one day and not have steps that make that happen, or I'm going to be a mum one day and then swing overnight it happens. Along the way, there are always steps to take, and right at this moment, if self-sabotage is your specific ingredient that you need to overcome. So it's your challenge you've got to overcome in order to take the next step towards your vision and dream. Then sit down and meditate and get into that soul space so that you can always remember what it feels like to want to live that dream more than anything else that comes against you during your day, okay, your life on a day-to-day basis. It is key to do that, otherwise you're just pondering around in your mind or your heart and you're not getting into the depths of what will compel you and propel you to go forward, okay? The next thing is you need to recognise when your thoughts and emotions go off track from your commitment. Now, how are you going to do that? You're going to be listening to your thoughts, you're going to be feeling your emotions, you're going to recognise when they're not lined up with where you're headed. Now, it's a natural part that it will happen because it's part of our growth. It gives us a choice, so we have to exercise our free will that we actually want to do this more than we just want a day-to-day job and a normal, the best analogy I've got at the moment is a white picket fence family, because that initially was the dream and the vision that I had for my life, okay? And once I had that, I realised I was still empty on the inside. So it still felt empty. I didn't feel full of life. So then I had to take next steps to address that. When we're headed into our dream and our vision for life, and even if we don't know what the end goal is, we're going to fill our lives with something that we enjoy doing. So if I look back 20 years now, what did I enjoy doing? I enjoyed reading self-care books, I enjoyed reading self-help books, and I enjoyed reading full stop. I enjoyed writing, and I enjoyed helping people, and that all has come together. But if you'd have said to me 20 years ago, oh, one day you're going to be sitting at a computer talking to people who may or may not be there or may watch later, in 20 years' time, you're going to travel the world, and wherever there's an internet connection, you can hook in and you can help people. Would I have believed you 20 odd years ago that that was possible to happen? No. We didn't even have this technology 20 years ago, okay? So can you see that being propelled by what filled me with joy each time, it helped me overcome many, many hard times, because I felt a real purpose behind everything that I was doing. I didn't know what the big picture was. I just felt a purpose, and I was driven by it because it was bigger than me. Okay? So when you're looking at a purpose, it will fill you with joy, but you know it's bigger than you, and you may not even know what the bigger picture is. I just know I have to do the one next thing, which at the time for me was to pick up a book and read it and learn more. Okay? And that's how I've ended up here sitting in front of technology I didn't know exist, and to help you. Okay? Key 3, refocus into the sense of your dream and vision being a reality. Too often we can go, oh yeah, well that's over there. The dream's over there. The kid's in front of me, the husband, the partner, the wife, whoever, my family are all a priority that need me more than I need to carry out what fulfills me. It is a catch-22 situation sometimes, but throughout the process of discerning whether you need to do your purpose today and feel with joy, or the family or the job or whoever needs your attention, if you're doing it consciously, if you're making the choice consciously that this is what I need to do in this moment, then you're not going to self-sabotage because you're remaining aware that you want to stay on track for your purpose. You won't self-sabotage. Self-sabotage is when we forget all about our purpose and even our plan for the day, and we run off with the next thing that catches our attention, etc. The next thing that grabs our heart, we're off with it. Trust me. And procrastination, oh yeah, let's all stick our hands up. Either way, I've got to work out this back to front. Key 4, choose to be mature and ignore those thoughts and emotions that keep taking you off track. So our thoughts from here, our hearts from here, our emotions from our heart, all keep us sitting up in here and keep us focused on right here and now, but we want to be down in soul deep. We want to be able to get hold of that purpose and go, no, I want to take one more step today towards my purpose. And that's an actual choice, and in this day and age we call it adulting. I'm going to have to adult now and make this decision. And if you've come from trauma and toxicity, it comes down to I'm going to have to adult because I have to make boundaries. Okay? When my kids were little, it was a case of, no, I'm sorry, mum's working, I have to do this. Our time is here, what we do is here, and we do it well. And it's not a case of never interrupting what I was doing. It's a case of I worked around them, okay, so that they would have the benefit of both things. And now I just lost my key. I lost the key to it all. I kid. Okay, key 5, which is what we've just discussed, which is use your boundaries when necessary. Now, if you've been on the internet at all, you will have heard Mel Robbins' 5-second rule, which is if you're needing action, okay, so we've talked about you need your heart and soul involved in it, and you need that reason why you want to keep pursuing your dream, okay? Otherwise, if you can't feel it deep within you, then you're not going to give it any space. So, when you've given it space and you want to take action, Mel Robbins has a great behaviour management tool where you count from 5 backwards. So it's like a rocket taking off. So, you remember when you think of NASA and they've got rockets taking off and the countdown's from 10 backwards, and you know that the atmosphere is building, the tension is building, everything's going to go off. Will it happen? Will it work? Well, instead of going from 10, you go from 5 backwards, and you're giving yourself time where when you hit 1, You're up, you're out of bed, you're out of that chair, and you're moving forward into the next one thing that you have to do, okay? She has a fantastic video, which I will post in the comments down below, which actually explains all the science behind what she teaches, and it also goes into things like the cognitive function in the brain and how we have to take action in order to change our patterns and beliefs and so much more. And before Mel's rule came out, I practiced this, that action is what overcomes the anxiety triggers in our brain, because I used to be crippled by anxiety. So what you need to do is adopt. If you want to adopt 10 backwards to 1 before you can get up and out and at 'em, then that's okay. But Mel says 5. I think it gives you less time to procrastinate, to be honest. And then up and at 'em. What's your one next thing you want to do? And if you suffer from anxiety or depression, use the 5-second rule. Get up, get at 'em, and try. The worst thing that can happen is you'll just fall down and you'll have to do the 5-second rule and get up again, okay? It's doable, absolutely. And if you're using the 5-second rule, you just put a hashtag 5-second rule down below, and I think Mel will actually catch up with you at some point. Key 7, which is what we've just explained. I'm getting ahead of myself as usual. It's in taking action that your brain will cease the self-sabotage pattern, and it will. And here's what I found, why it does stop the self-sabotage pattern, is because we begin to feel good about taking action. So for me, one of the things I began to do to overcome anxiety was go to gym. Now, I couldn't do a lot because mine goes way back to being bedridden, but I created a space where going to gym at the same time every day, I knew when I came out of gym that I would feel good. And what happens is when you create that habit and you can hook into the soul feeling that will feel good, you go, right, I can do a 5-second or a 10-second rule and get myself up and going. 1, because I know it'll benefit me, and 2, because I know after I've been, I'm going to feel better, and then I'm going to be able to be more motivated to do more of what I feel good about, okay? And if you're like me and you have a really hard time getting motivated to do the housework, and I want to say, trust me, I have a hard time getting motivated to do housework because I love the work that I do. 5-second rule helps. And then what I find is, in taking action, I realised that my mind wanted to create all of these scenarios of, oh, it's going to take that long, oh, it's too long. But when you do the 5-second rule, you get up, you get focused, and next thing you know, it's done in a very short amount of time. Okay, hashtag replay if you're on replay, and if you have any questions or comments, you can comment down below. If you have any questions and you don't want to do it publicly, you're welcome to private message me. And I thank you all for watching and participating in this whole series of conversations we need to have. And please feel free to share the video, because there are always people who are wanting to know how we're going to move beyond self-sabotage. Okay, they might not be telling you because we tend to keep these things within. We want to hide it. We're not proud of it, that we haven't got the next thing done on our to-do list. Or as my friend Nicole calls it, a to-do list, which I love. So share and help somebody else out that may not even be able to tell you that they need help. Bless you, and I will be back normal time tomorrow. Okay, till then, bye.